Hey, I'm Frida. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to my Hallway Closet Makeover series. Now last time we ripped the door and the door trim off, we mudded everything, we painted it, and we built a bench support. And this week we are making the frame for the opening as well as the bench, and I can't wait. Now, before we get into it, let me introduce you to my wood storage. Hi, welcome to my messy office and welcome to my wood storage. So not too long ago, I found a 10-seater cherrywood table on Facebook Marketplace. And when I saw it, I knew that I wanted to use this for the bench in the hallway and for the shelf. We had to disassemble it on their porch and managed to fit around half of it in our car, and the rest, I just walked 18 blocks home with my trusty old trolley. I'm going to sand this down and see what the natural wood looks like. I like to reuse wood as much as I can. It usually is better quality and much cheaper. I mean, I got so much material from this one table. The depth was already what I needed, so I just need to cut it to size with one cut and it was ready to go. I think this was meant to be.
Said you're sick of the city and due for a change, but I need you to stay. Just as long as it takes me to memorize your face, I'll draw it all day. Till your eyebrows point to your jawbone in just the right way.
I haven't really explained what I would like for this to look like. So I'm thinking something like this. I just want this minimalist trim, like kind of framing of the opening that's wood, probably gonna stain it. I have bought a piece of wood, please hold. So I bought this wood, which is beautiful. It's only 1/2 inch thick. So that is what I'm gonna use. This is gonna go at the top, and then I have the 2 side pieces. Imagine this, and the drywall butts up to this, and then this goes all the way to the ground, and then no trim at the bottom, just on the sides. So it's a very, very sleek, modern kind of wood little window into this hallway closet. So I think I need to measure, go down, cut miters, have it all like line up and get some sort of shims in there, make sure this is straight. So let's measure, triple measure, quadruple measure, and then go down and cut this. I never cut a 45 like this before, so I'm gonna have to test this out on test piece to figure out how it works. My trusty test piece. So I'm just gonna make a imaginary line, and I want to make sure that I cut to this one where, oh yeah, I want to cut to this one where the longest hits there. Like, how does that work? How does that work? Then would it be the width? I say that is where it's gonna be. If that's gonna be the short edge, and we're guessing this is gonna be the long edge, like it's gonna cut like that. So in theory, if I cut like this, so we do like that, and cut this, I guess so. It does not cut where I think it does. But how do I know where it cuts? I came up with a simple solution, I think. Hopefully. I push this down and then line my cut up with it. Should be like there. And then I draw that line. Should be right. Not sure. Let's give it a go. Okay, yeah. I would say that's accurate. I need to remember to push it all the way through. All the way down. Okay. I'm just gonna have to cut the real deal. Okay, so I need this board to be 81.3 centimeters. I still have like that much extra. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut one miter edge first and then see how that goes, to test it, because I don't have any test pieces of this material. So I'm gonna cut my miter, see what it looks like, and then if I need to cut it again, I have space. And then once I have a miter I like, I figured it out for this one, I'll just do the measurement and cut the other side. I'll probably cut as tight to the edge as I can. Might not go all the way, but it also gives me an idea if there's going to be splinters or not, which I hope not. Gosh, why am I so nervous? Okay, let's do this. Oh, that looks pretty good. Very clean. No splinters. That's pretty good. Okay. Look at that. That's super clean. This wood also smells really good cut. So I'm going to cut it 81 then. 81. So I want to measure 81. But I want to measure it from the long side, because 81 is the full length. So imagine it's like this in the ceiling, right? Like this is where the other board goes. So the full length is what I want to make sure is what my measurement is. So I'm going to measure from the long angle. 81. It's here. We also know that when our blade cuts, what's facing up is a short side, right? Like it's cutting the short side first and the long side is the bottom. So if I would do this and cut here, then we end up with the wrong cut. So we end up with this angle there and this angle there. So I need to trace this over to the other side. So I have the short side up, and then I'll cut on this side and I have the long sides on the same place. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I don't transfer the line to the other side. So it's here, here, here. And then I cut on this side, and it should be fine. Now if this cut goes wrong, I need a new board. And these are not expensive boards, but they were more expensive than I planned. I was first going to use plywood and then cover the edges, but then I saw these and I was like, this is nicer. So if this goes wrong, I need to buy a new board, which needs extra money that I don't have. So just all your good thoughts that this cut is as perfect as that one. Thank you. Also, when the tape cut, you can actually see even better where that straight line is, so that helps me a lot with lining this up. Short side facing up, short side facing up, we're good. Everything's fine. It's gonna cut like this. We're good. Lining this up with the line here where it cuts, and then we cross all fingers and hope for the best. freaking bang on 81. Hey. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're so crooked. Better? The perfect cut. I'm so excited. Now the other ones, the long ones, will only have one side mitered and the other one cut straight. So I think I'm just going to do the miter sides on both. Then I just measure and cut straight from there. So that should be much easier. And I don't know if I'm going to cut these a little, like right at my measurement. Maybe I'll do like a millimeter shorter. And then I can always go down and cut again if they're too long. I can always just, you know, slowly kind of work that down if I need to. Ooh, this one I do not have as much wiggle room. I forget how messy a miter saw is. Oh, no, let's cut the other one first before, because I don't want to change the settings. Okay, so let's cut these to length and then it's dinner time. Okay. What I might do is I might retape and cut again. And that, I really like this way of seeing where it cuts, so happy accident, maybe? Look at that. That's so neat. Can you see? Love that. Okay. Do I have some marks on my nose? Probably. Anyways, all cut. I'm dying of hunger. I want to bring these upstairs, so it's an inch tall. Millimeter too big because of the drywall.
Cool.
I know, right? Look at them lighter.
Yeah, it's a nice cut.
I did some stain tests for the different stains that I have. This is just wax. This is one of my oil stains. This is one of my water-based stains. This is a stain I used like as a base for mixing. I love this brand of stain. It goes on so nicely and so evenly. It just doesn't create like these ugly kind of blotches. It's absolutely gorgeous. But it was way too warm for what we needed. So I ended up going and buying the same brand of stain, but in a more neutral color. And I think this is what we're gonna do. And for example, so this board is fir, that is cherrywood, and you can see how it stains beautifully on the cherrywood but not so nicely on the fir. But this stain, this brand of stain, stains beautifully on both and matches up really well. So definitely this brand. Let's take this down and get it stained. All the fans are in the workshop today, so the audio is probably really noisy. I apologize. I'm going to do a top coat on this using a oil and wax blend. It's Osmo, which is my favorite since a while now, varnish or top coat. I have a feeling that adding this is going to make this a lot darker, and I kind of enjoy that it's brighter because the rest of that closet is quite dark, but unfortunately I think it's going to make it a lot darker. Osmo does make a top coat that has like tints to it, so like a bright white tint or a gray, which might be something I need to try if this turns out to be too dark for that corner. I'm not sure. So I always have that option. And it's also going to bring out a lot of red back into it. So this kind of added a little bit of a muted green. The red's going to come back and shine through. But that's cherrywood. So the stain took really nicely, very evenly, without any like pre-stain, which is why I love this stain. So let's add the Osmo and then we'll see how it looks and go from there. And I should mention too that with Osmo, you don't need to sand in between coats. And if you use an abrasive pad like this, it kind of sands as you put it on. So it's very energy efficient. Coming together. So I got this new baseboard trim to patch the bits I removed, and I brought this old trim to make sure I got the right one, but I didn't pay attention to the thickness. It's such a rookie mistake. So this trim is too thick and I need to get a new one, and I can't return this one since I had it cut down to fit in the car, so it's such a waste of money. Just learn from my mistake. Sorry if you can hear my partner furiously typing away on his keyboard. He's a ferocious typer. So, I just got a brad nailer for a nail gun. I am both extremely excited to try it out, but also every time you use a new tool, it comes with a lot of nerves and a lot of reading up about proper use, making sure you're safe when you're using it. So I got my safety glasses. My battery's not plugged in while I'm handling it until I need to shoot my nails in. And I'm going to use this to nail the trim in, as well as the whole frame for the door, or for the opening rather. So nervous, excited. Let's try this new tool out. So I went to get the new trim and I found the right one, and this one you can buy by foot, which is amazing. So I just cut 1 foot of it, that's all I needed, and when I got to the cashier, he looked at my piece and he was like, just take it and go. So I ended up getting it for free. I mean, that definitely made me less grumpy about this whole trim debacle. Hey. Yeah, it's on there. Cool. Trim is in. Now, I don't know if this is like an issue, but since I don't know, I want to be rather safe than sorry. So all of these have been nailed in with big nails. So I'm going to, before I put the whole frame on here, I want to just put little markers where these nails are so I don't nail in accidentally right into this metal and get that nail bouncing back. So I'm just gonna be safe, rather safe than sorry, and just make sure I have all of these kind of like marked on the outside so I know I can nail anywhere pretty much in between and I should be fine. So I had this ambitious idea that I could get this frame in place myself, but ended up coming to my senses and asked for help. So we shimmied it in and we pondered, then we pondered some more, and we pondered some more and came up with the plan that you need to cut a little bit shorter. Okay, so I cut this like a blade length shorter. So let's see if we can slide it in. Why won't you slide? Ooh, you have to go or just force it.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, mate. Is it cool? Is it everything I wanted? Kinda. Ooh, I guess we put some nails in. This is nerve-wracking. There's no chance of this falling on me, right? No, I don't think so. Okay. I mean, we're gonna have to do it at some point, so. Please don't split. Got a little piece of shim cut. Okay. It's dinner time. It's also getting a little bit late to do power tools for the neighbors, so I'm gonna finish this probably tomorrow. How exciting. Okay, next day, let's finish installing this frame.
You're sick of the city and due for a change. I need you to stay.
Well, that ain't going nowhere.
Just as long as
There are a few gaps here at the top that I need to fill in. You can kind of see it from this side. If you look up, as well as on the back side, there's a few gaps. So I'm gonna go and fill these in a little, make it neater. This is probably not even anyway how you're supposed to do it, but I have a lot of this joint compound tape. I have my spackling. That's what I'm gonna use.
you're running away. Said you're sick of the city and due for a change, but I need you to stay. Just as long as it takes me.
Okay, so a few things happened off camera. I filled and sanded these holes and sanded down these smooth so they're ready for paint. I also filled in this one here. It needs to dry a little bit longer before I can sand it, but then once that's dry I can sand that down and then that's ready for paint. And then I also cut the last two trim pieces to size and did the first round of paint. I'm going to do a second round for these as well. Small mini steps, but it's moving along, which is great. So these little tiny holes I need to fill. So what I'm going to do is going to push some wood glue in there, and then I'm going to sand this whole piece over, and that will push sand dust from this into that wood glue. So when I go to stain it, it should be fairly even. I also need to just do these cracks as well, but in general they're pretty good.
Tell your eyebrows point to your jawbone in just the right way. If you made a mistake, you can come back.
We're getting somewhere, but I don't like that this is white. I think it's taking way too much attention. So since I need to paint anyway, all the little patches, I'm gonna paint this gray. I think it's gonna be much better.
Are you coming up north like you used to? You can jump in Superior or wait on the shore and feel bad about ways that we.
Okay, first coat of gray on the trim is on, and I'm so happy I did this. It makes a lot more sense to me. And the door trim, like around the front door, is not as in your face anymore. The door color, we've never really loved. It doesn't really match the floor, doesn't really make sense. So maybe we'll try to tackle that at a later time, but for now at least, it's kind of just disappeared a little. This needed to happen, and I'm super stoked that I finally did this. Also the trim, so the trim, floor trim is also being painted gray as well. So yeah, it feels really good. Good productive day.
Change your heart, making U-turns on the freeway, on the freeway, on the freeway.
Okay, so I put a coat of varnish on the framing pieces around the opening, and I've hit my first milestone. And I can't believe that I've gotten to this point. It looks like my inspo pictures, which is crazy, knowing that I've never done anything like this before and had no idea what it's gonna turn out like. So I'm pretty stoked. So let's remove the tape, put the bench back, see what everything looks like together. I am so excited. Let's finish this. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that I did this, honestly. I am so proud. It was so out of my comfort zone. It was something I never done. Everything was like new. And it turned out like exactly how I envisioned it, which is wild to me. These like boards turned out so well. They actually match with this bench, even though the wood is completely different. And just using an old table for this bench was so nice. Like, it's such good thick wood, and it has this little detail here, which I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna have on the front or if I'm gonna have it on the back. I like it. It's very nice. Like, when you sit down and you hold on to it, it's really nice. But I also, if you flip it around, you can see how thick this wood piece is, which I also like. So I'm gonna try out both. I won't attach this yet. I want to have an electrician here to add a outlet here for like a charging station, and an outlet at the bottom for plugging the LEDs in, so I don't have to pipe them around. So until then, I'm gonna leave this loose so they can, you know, easily access. On painting the trim around the front door, that was everything. Like, I'm so glad I decided to do it. It really, really changed the look. This looked a little bit out of place, and I was definitely worried there for a while. But the moment I painted that, it just all came together. It just turned out so well. Having the LEDs in here so it will always be light is such a nice touch. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a cabinet back here, just a narrow one for shoe storage. So I'm going to build a shoe storage cabinet here. I'm going to put up a shelf that's from the same wood as this table, so they will match. I'm going to put like hooks and stuff on the sides for like keys and for the little shelf for the charging station. And on this side, I'm thinking probably like hang umbrellas, maybe the shoehorn and things like that. So I'm going to make sure that this little nook can fit everything we need, but in a clever way. And then I also have the space underneath for like when you just want to kick your shoes there when you get home, or also like bags, you know, the reusable bags that everyone has these days. They'll probably live under there. And yeah, I'm so stoked. I'm really, really stoked. I'm really proud. I hope you enjoyed watching this part A of my closet build, and hopefully gave you some inspiration to tackle the projects that might seem out of your comfort zone and out of reach, but if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm super excited for part B, so I'll see you soon. Hej då! This is wild.